Also headed to Duke along with Bird and Carey.
They got one more player, top 50, Boogie Ellis. From the West Coast, big time scoring guard. They're trying to get Matt Hurt, who's in this game.
Achua for three. Really strong rebound, Anthony.
He is aggressive offensively, Paul.
Achua.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes too aggressive.
I would agree.
Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
I love that kid.
Headed to Villanova. Just such a mature kid out and off the floor.
So productive, efficient with his game. He's not afraid to get dirty, to get on the floor. Jay Wright will love that. If you need points, he can deliver rebounds, defense. Robinson Earl is fantastic.
Man, what a nice dish there to Cockburn.
I thought he was the best passer all week on both teams. He sees the floor well. And, you know, we've been watching him since his freshman year. I remember he was like 5'11", right? Now he's about a solid 6'3". Filling out. His dad is 6'6", former NBA player.
Nico can see the floor as well as anyone in the class. Maybe the best passer in the senior class.
Nico Mannion, the Arizona signee, the head coach for USA junior national team, is Scott Fitch, his fourth USA basketball coaching assignment. Head coach here out of Fairport High School in Fairport, New York. Mannion for three. Well, he's off to a great start.
And the thing about Nico, he's so complete. He's got the jumper, we just saw it. He's got the assist game. He can set up the team. He defends. He's competitive. And he's a great teammate.
Steps there for Wiseman. That's 9 early points. Check that, 7 early points for Nico Mannion. The head coach of the World Select team is Roy Rada, who he has coached every Canadian player in the NBA at some level, and he's got a good chance of being that national team coach.
They're down to 2 choices, and that national team is qualified for the FIBA World Cup in China this summer, and he would be a great choice.
He'd be an outstanding choice. You know, he was the coach of Canada's U19 team that won a gold medal.
I remember.
Yeah, they beat USA in the quarters.
Beat that Kentucky All-Star team coached by John Calipari, as I recall.
Ron at 4-4 here at the Hoop Summit. So this is a big game for him. This puts him over 500. But I'll tell you what, he is a fantastic basketball coach.
Shot Silva. That's going to be an offensive foul as Cole Anthony draws the contact. Let's go back to the defense at the other end.
Yeah, no, you like this. You like this team. They practice D all week, and you are not scoring inside on these guys for USA. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, Coach Fitch, you know, he was doing the shell drill this week, and you don't see that a lot in all-star settings and practices.
Well, I was really impressed.
He was fabulous
this
week.
And USA, you know what I like about USA basketball? They have a true national team program now, not just at the senior level of the NBA guys, but the junior level.
Stan Waterman, assistant coach, they had a great presence about this week, and the kids really responded.
Foul on the baseline there as Maxey tried to save that one out of bounds.
And he's going to bring buckets. The Big Blue Nation. Tyrese Maxey, best shooter here at the Hoop Summit.
NBA guys.
And there was a little bit of some eyebrows raised when we get mass substitutions about Ashton Haynes coming back from Kentucky, and Maxey was asked about that. He said, I can't wait to go against him.
Yeah,
back at Lexington.
I got to tell you, NBA guys have been impressed with Maxey this week, so that's a good sign for not only him, but for Kentucky.
And how about that backcourt with Higgins and Maxey next year?
Wow.
So changes here for the United States team.
Higgins, a great defender. Maxey, a bucket getter. They also have Khalil Whitney coming in, 6'9", out of Roselle Catholic. John Calipari is never done recruiting.
No way.
He's trying to get Matthew Hurt as well as Duke, and he's also trying to get Jaden McDaniels, who we saw yesterday in the scrimmage, number 6 in the ESPN 100. That 6'10", long drink of water.
Played well.
Great upside.
Yep.
You're referencing Matthew Hurt, number 10 in the white. Has the ball, shoots the ball, makes the ball.
Yeah, he's got great scoring versatility. I mean, he can put the ball in the basket any way you want.
He reminds me of a little bit of TJ Leaf. He's probably got a little more perimeter game. But
yeah, Leaf had more bounce.
Open three, Scotty Lewis, way off. And a rebound here for the world team. Andre Curbelo with the dish to Achua. Both ends of that connection, impact players at the next level.
2 New York guys.
Being around Andre Corbello, class of 2020 from Puerto Rico. He's not going to classify. He's going to be one of those players that is just around for 4 years and wins games and causes turnovers.
He's had a great week. The New York State Player of the Year. Nice drive there.
And state champion.
State champion. Yeah. He's got a complete resume, this young guy. His father is a former player on the Olympic team for Puerto Rico. He's now a referee in the Puerto Rican Superior League, so he's been around basketball. Watch him.
3-ball corner off the top of the backboard. There's Guo Hawin from China, 19 years old. There's Isaiah Stewart. Wants the ball again. Gets it.
Great
hustling. Hurt with the offensive rebound. And Corbello tried to save that one, but that will be back at this end.
You'll see the athleticism of Precious Achua right here, but watch the pass by Corbello. Good no look, right down the lane, punched it.
They call that a give and go, Fran. We don't see that very often in high school basketball. It's usually give
and then go away.
Go away.
Someone else, yeah.
Great IQ by Corbello to give it back to the big, and that's what Precious does best. Run the floor better than any other big his size.
Well, the bigs have looked good this week because the guards are getting in the ball.
Great point guard play we have seen. For as good as the bigs have been, the point guards have been terrific.
What a matchup here in the post. Dante and Stewart.
Stewart, shot no good. Rebound Team World.
Folly Dante, 6'11", 250, like a brick wall inside.
Corbello. Dante tries to corral it. He can't. Here's the rebound here for Davion Harmon, the Oklahoma signing, number 6 in white. That one stripped by Josh Green. World Select team on a little break. 3-on-2. Goes out of bounds.
Thought Josh Green gave it to him way too early, Fran, right?
Yeah.
Didn't create anything, just kind of gave it up and kind of led him into that turnover.
Substitutions here for
I'm going to be saying this guy's name a lot in the Big 12. Oscar Tshiebwe. He's a human rebounding machine. He's a 2-story building. That's how I describe it.
Nearly got that one on cue. But the rebound there from Matthew Alexander Moncrief, also in the class of 2020.
We talked about it in the open, how competitive. How about the baseline out of bounds? They run plays, they execute, they care, they're competitive. That's why this game is so exciting.
Davion Harmon, the Oklahoma signee, top 10 point guard, puts that one in. Out of Oklahoma's top 20 class.
He will step right in for a long period.
Extra pass to Howin.
He's been knocking down threes all week. He plays in the Chinese Basketball Association, one of the youngest players in that league, and also part of the national team. That's pretty good for a 19-year-old.
Lewis snipes through, gets the finger roll. Scotty Lewis, the Florida signee, top 15 in the ESPN 100.
Fantastic at McDonald's in the dunk competition, almost won it. He's had a great senior season.
Go to war with that guy.
Yeah, and he brings it on both ends of the floor. He scores buckets, but I'll tell you what, he may be the best perimeter defender in the senior class. Scotty Lewis can lock you up and throw away the key.
Just relentless intensity. And polite on the floor, you know, and talking to coaches and officials, but man, that just belies the alpha dog.
Yeah, and I think at some point he's going to be a great player for Michael White. What NBA teams like about him in the future, not right now, is that he's going to be able to be a wing defender. If Nembhard comes back, right, they got Trey Mann coming in. It's a really talented team next year.
On the shot clock. Nova puts that one up. Goes out of bounds. Should be a shot clock violation. And that will be Team USA ball.
Yeah, Florida, top 10 class. They also have Omar Payne, a 6'9" shot blocker athlete coming in along with Trey Mann, who's a great shooting type of guard. And Scotty Lewis can play that corner 3-ball on offense, defend on the perimeter. You're right, Fran. When his time is done with Mike White, he's going to be playing at the next level, I think.
6 players have scored the 12 points for Team USA. Wendell Moore, the Duke signee, is going to look for a couple of more at the charity stripe. Wendell Moore, number 3 small forward, number 19 in the ESPN 100, part of that top 5 Duke class for Coach K. Jordan Carey, Moore. Well, the NBA playoffs begin tomorrow. We'll have a quadruple header for you on ESPN and ABC starting at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific with Nets Sixers, then Magic Raptors, followed by Clippers Warriors on ABC. We cap off today with Spurs Nuggets, all games streaming live on the ESPN app, so you can watch them anywhere.
Raptors better be careful. Those Magic are the hottest team in the Eastern Division. They were 11 under 500 about 5 weeks ago. They finished 32-40.
Those Eastern Conference Finals, their playoffs are going to be very fascinating to watch.
A lot of good matchups. Boston, Indiana.
That's going to be a great one.
Yeah.
There's the Western Conference on this floor Sunday. Portland and OKC.
Portland struggled with OKC. They lost all 4 games this year. It's a new season, Fran.
Playoffs.
Playoffs come.
Playoffs.
You have to say
That's why
like that, right?
that's why you go to practice. Practice.
We're not talking about practice. We're talking about the game. Isaiah Stewart, the bucket, number 3 center, headed to Washington. 200 miles north of here. Lewis nearly got the block there as he was flying through the air. More with the rebound.
The one thing about this USA team this year compared to last, this is a competitive group. Matthew Hurt just brings it any way you want it. Not physical, finesse, skilled, high IQ. When he gets stronger, he's going to be able to throw his weight around in the college game.
Number 10 of the ESPN 100, Kentucky, Kansas, North Carolina, Duke, in on him. Nice dish to Sada Silva, unable to connect. Rebound to Hurt.
The thing I love about Hurt is he can beat you with his skill or his mind for the game. He's going to make his announcement April 19th, coming up soon.
9-0 Team USA run. Stewart inside, might have taken steps.
I had a chance to see Matthew Hurt last summer. Bill Self-coached that U18 team, and it was really impressive. Cole Anthony was on that team. He's already played high-level basketball internationally.
And he fits.
3,500 career points there in Minnesota, more than 1,400 rebounds.
You know what I love, Paul? I don't know how you know this. Minnesota basketball is getting better and better and better.
And there's only one Division I team in the state.
Yeah.
Gophers.
Yep.
Richard Pitino had a nice season this year.
Matthew Hurt's brother plays in Minnesota.
Yeah, Michael, they had a great year.
Yeah, 22 wins.
Mannion tries to get that one up. He does. But foul. They'll go to the line.
Fran, you turned me on to Nico Mannion real early at the camps in the summertime.
Yeah, he was at the Under Armour camps. He reminds me, Bobby Hurley Jr. said this, he reminds me of Bobby Hurley Jr., and he's not quite as quick, but Bobby felt the same way. Of course, they recruited him early, and this guy's going to wind up down in Tucson, just about an hour south. And he and Josh Green should be a great backcourt.
They already have the built-in chemistry.
Yeah.
And that's what Nico said. He says, we know each other on the court. We like each other off the court. And we don't have to build that chemistry and that bond. It's already established. They play AAU basketball for West Coastal League, and that really keeps them close.
James Wiseman, number 1 player in the ESPN 100. Too strong there. 15 on the game clock. The offensive board. Isaac Okoro, no good. Less than 10 seconds to go here in the first half. A 2-point lead for the World Select team. Nico Mannion, too strong, and that'll do it for the first quarter. Nico Mannion, 9 points in the first quarter on 3 of 4 shooting, Fran.
Off to a really good start to get that lead going for the world, but it wasn't just him. I like the way the USA responded. They came back strong. George Raveling, who's Nike, form. It's the first Gucci seat next to Paul. Well, the guy just sat in it, so we can't do it now. But anyway, yeah. You know about Coach Rav's surgery?
Heard about it.
Yeah, he's recovering. He's watching tonight.
It's the Nike Hoop Summit in Portland. The World Select team with a 21-19 lead over Team USA as we begin the second quarter. Again, some future NBA draft picks and future college stars here on hand. Two of them from Arizona, Nico Mannion headlining that top class.
There's other guys in that class. That's why they're #1. They have a wing by the name of Terry Armstrong from the West Coast. Elite athlete, could have been in the McDonald's game. He was that good. And a big man by the name of Zeke Naji, 6'10", from the state of Minnesota.
Another one of those guys we've been talking about.
Late blossom big with bounce and skill. Sean Miller really put together a strong class.
Cole Anthony is on the board for three. He's the top uncommitted prospect here on the floor tonight. Oregon, North Carolina, Georgetown, Notre Dame, all in the running for his services. Marco Pekarski is going to go to the line as Team USA has their first lead of the night. Top uncommitted prospects here, Paul. Some kids wait a little bit longer than others.
Some do, but I'll tell you what, these guys that are all making their decisions soon. Matthew Hurt, you mentioned Cole Anthony, Precious Achiuwa, Trendon Wofford's making his decision this week coming up. So by the end of April, they're all going to make their final decision. And some of these guys, like Cole Anthony, he'll change the landscape wherever he goes, whether it's Oregon, North Carolina, Georgetown, likes Mike Bray and Notre Dame. He's a game changer from a point guard perspective. He's a scoring point guard, but he can really change the complexion and the tempo of a game.
Yeah, he was another one of those guys that played for Bill Self last summer on that under-18 team. Remember, we talked about Canada beating USA in the under-19s in Egypt. Last year was payback because USA won by 60 points over Canada in the final, thanks to Cole Anthony and Matthew Hurt.
In the game that Canada won, R.J. Barrett,
well, he dominated.
He had 20 points, and he was the leader of that Canadian win. They had Nembhard on that team.
This young man will be heading to play for Bruce Pearl. Saw him at the USA training camp in October. Not really a scorer to me, Paul, right? But just a junkyard dog kind of athlete.
Great defender.
Yep.
And he is a switch defender. He can go 1 through 4. He'll take on a power forward at a moment's notice. He can cover point guards. Isaac Okoro is one of the best defenders along with Scotty Lewis. When you think about guys that can really lock you up and defend the ball, Okoro.
Talking about Isaac Okoro, #4 in white for Team USA. He's signed for Auburn. We'll show it to you later. He had a high-flying dunk in front of the NBA scouts last night on a baseline out-of-bounds play.
He's perfect the way Bruce plays. Up and down, press, trap, finish, guard you.
Just had a high-flying rebound.
Good hustle there from Cockburn to save it. And the flush from Pekarski out of Serbia.
He's one of the rare kids in this game that did not play high school basketball in the States. He plays professionally in Serbia. KK Partizan, the Boston Celtics, if you will, of the Adriatic. A great tradition.
Josh Green, left hand is rejected by Wiseman.
See the blow-by speed of Josh Green trying to get to the rim. And from the weak side, James Wiseman, 12 in the white. Watch this, folks. He comes right here, gets it out. He did that all week, Fran. He's swatting it out of bounds. We talked about this. Watching him, he's got to start to block that shot and keep it inbounds.
Yep, he's going to play for Penny Hardaway, who he played for in high school. So that's going to be a great marriage.
Shot there from Cockburn. James Wiseman is such a fascinating guy, fascinating young man. He reads books. He checks the stock market every day. and
speaks Chinese,
he teaches Mandarin Chinese.
Yeah. He's a book reader. He loves to read books. Now, he doesn't need to check the stock market now, but in a few years,
he's got to learn.
He's got to keep an eye on that stock.
Likely in 2 years, he'll be the #1 pick, in my opinion.
There he is off the glass for his first field goal of the day.
Yeah, his energy level this week has been sky high.
He's had a great senior season. That's what he does. He changes shots. See how he changed the shot of Josh Green? Josh goes in, not sure what to do. Wiseman comes over with the 7'6" wingspan, 9 foot 4 inch standing reach. He dominates the game in the paint, at the rim. Here goes Green. Watch this. Changes it right there. Made him get rid of it a little early, to the left.
He remembered what happened last time when he went baseline on Wiseman. Socorro gets the roll.
And that's what he does, Wiseman. He makes you think when you get into the paint. That is a defensive presence right there in James Wiseman.
Foul on Nico Mannion right there. This is becoming a nice little back and forth battle between Cole Anthony and Nico Mannion.
Sure if they call the foul, is it just stepped out of bounds?
Maybe he did.
And Mannion wanted the foul. That would have been the third on Anthony. Team USA, their biggest lead. They're up 5. Anthony.
So good. So good at getting to the open space on the floor. The pull-up game may be the best part of his game in terms of shooting the ball. He is terrific in that mid-range.
He was born in Portland, Oregon, moved to New York as a toddler. Here's Green for 3.
That's going to happen a lot next year in Tucson at the McHale Center. Josh Green, the Aussie.
And that's the part of his game that probably needs the most polish. He's got NBA range, Green. He just doesn't have that consistency. Here's the hook. And that was with the right hand by James Wiseman. When he plays the game inside and then out, that's when he impacts. Some of these bigs, friend, they love to stand outside and show everybody they can shoot it.
Mannion's been doing that. His second 3.
He is showing out in this game.
I like the back and forth. You know, Cole Anthony started off slow, but he's getting it going, and Nico up to the challenge.
Again, you talked about it. This is an evaluation tool here tonight. This isn't just an all-star game where you're out here to have fun. These guys are here to prove something and do it in front of guys that are going to make some big decisions that could impact their future.
Well, there's no question. And that's why these NBA scouts love this game, because, again, you have executives here. It's not just the guys in the field that we see during the season. It's GMs, it's presidents of teams. And, you know, to get a chance, Paul, to watch James Wiseman right now as a high school senior is important to them.
And he just took a beautiful charge. He took it on the chest.
You've never seen 240 pounds fall so easily.
I've never seen a shot blocker like Wiseman take a charge in an all-star game. Watch this. Kofi Cockburn puts in that left. That looked like a WWE takedown. And Wiseman smart enough to take it on the chest and take the fall.
It's 290 pounds going into 240 as Cockburn will take his second foul.
And that's where Kofi has to, he gets deep catches in the paint, but when he doesn't and he has to make a move, he's still a little mechanical. But I'll tell you what, when he plays hard, he can really pound the rim.
Going to be playing for Brad Underwood there at Illinois. 5-point lead for Team USA. There's that matchup again. Anthony and Mannion, #1 point guard versus the #2 point guard in the ESPN 100. And that'll stay USA ball.
You know, a lot of people, Fran, ask what's the difference between Mannion and Anthony. Anthony scores the ball at a better rate. Mannion, more of the cerebral type point guard. But Cole Anthony, a smart player, he's just got to make that adjustment of learning the balance between facilitating, setting up a team, and scoring.
And you would agree, right, that it's not necessarily a given that he is the best. I mean, obviously you've watched them all.
Oh, they're close. They're real close.
Yeah, it's not like there's a big drop-off.
And I know you like to look at our rankings, Fran.
I study them.
I know you do.
Study them, yeah.
And Cole's #2 and Mannion's #8, so they're really close to it. They're both inside the top 10.
I like it. I like it. You've been working overtime.
Green gets the free throw. The first round of the NBA playoffs continues Sunday right here on this floor. The Thunder and Trailblazers. Game 1 on ABC, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Coverage starts a half hour earlier with NBA Countdown, presented by Straight Talk Wireless. Both are also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere.
Stewart just begging for it inside.
to Hurt. Maxey, the Kentucky signee. Or tried to corral that one. Rebound here for Achua. Achua, one of the top uncommitted prospects in the ESPN 100. Here he's committed to the rim.
And that's where he's best. The straight line drive. In terms of offense, the straight line drive and the stationary three. Very good. When he starts to dribble into traffic and shoot on the move, it's not as effective.
Well, there you see it. That was a blow-by.
Yeah, and Cole loves the right hand. He's got a next step for Cole Anthony. Same move with the left hand to the left side of the floor.
We watched him this week in practice, just working on facilitating, passing. Didn't take a whole heck of a lot of shots.
This guy will.
Nice. Now, Achua, though, when he's in control, I'm telling you, he's a whole different player. When he starts to dance with it, start to take crazy contested shots, he doesn't look as good.
I remember when he was younger, Paul, he was more of an inside guy, right?
He was. He's developed his game.
How about Cole Anthony?
Now, Cole Anthony got off to a rough start with that slip and slide there in midcourt. He's redeemed himself here.
He's playing with a chip.
And when you talk about competitiveness, he's at the top of the list. That dude is competitive.
This guy's scoring right now. Precious Achua, he's heating up.
His older brother, God's gift, played at St. John's.
Yeah.
Precious has the choice: North Carolina, Kansas, Memphis, Georgia. That's what he's looking at right now. He was in the mix with St. John's, but now they don't have a coach, so who knows what's going to happen in that situation.
Crazy situation there, you know. They've had good coaches there in the past.
Look at Mannion pushing that one up the floor to his future teammate Josh Green. Get a goaltend call. A couple of points there for Team World. Well, what if these high school players were eligible for this year's NBA draft? Paul and Fran's mock draft straight ahead. Team USA with a 41-37 lead over the World Select team here at the Nike Hoop Summit. Matt Schick along with Fran Fraschilla and Paul Biancardi. Of course, the age limit in the NBA could be going away here in the next few years. But what if it was gone today? In fact, in 2 months with the NBA draft. How would these kids factor in? Paul and Fran did your own mocks separately. What do you got? Zion, Moran, and then all heck breaks loose.
It looks like at number 3, that's when Fran and I start to separate. I go with R.J. Barrett, who was the #1 player in the class last year. Fran goes with Wiseman. I got Isaiah Stewart. I've got 3 high school kids. I got Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, and then when you slide down to the bottom, I got Isaiah Stewart. Fran, when I look at your list, the one guy that I noticed is not in there in the top 10 is Cam Reddish.
Yeah, well, you know, Cam had a chance to step up when Zion was hurt. Now he's going to be a good pro. The effort level is definitely a question mark with these guys. I added Theo Maladon, the French point guard, and I got Wiseman at 3. Again, no, R.J. Barrett's a professional scorer, Matt, but I just have a feeling that you just don't pass up on an aircraft carrier. I'll still stick with the David Robinson example at 7'1", mobility, the leftiness. And it's a fun debate because in a couple of years, that's what we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, you guys each had a few high school players in there. You had McDaniels.
Absolutely, yeah.
The scouts I spoke to this week, absolutely love Isaiah Stewart. They heard his name, but they fell in love with him at McDonald's and here at the Hoop Summit.
I think he's going to be a fabulous college player. My concern with Isaiah, I've seen it this week, he struggled against Wayne.
But when you call his name, Fran, you know what he's going to give you.
Yeah, you want him to be Elton Brand if everything goes well. You know, a guy that was somewhat below the rim who had a great career, especially before Elton got hurt.
And Elton was a great example of when you called his name during the game. When the coach said Brand, you knew what you were getting. You were getting the post game, the jump shot, and the rebound.
Yep.
And that's what Isaiah Stewart can do, all three.
Free ball for Pekarski. As Team World within one, and we're within the 3-minute mark here in the first half.
Little zone now by the World, switching it up out of the timeout.
Every year, Roy Rana always goes to that 3-2 zone.
Nice catch.
Stewart on the inside.
And both of these teams, I'm sorry, both of these teams shot less than 27% from three. I still find that as a missing piece in our game is the jump shot. We talk about the drive, the passing. Guys just don't shoot the ball enough, and they don't shoot it well.
Well, I think in college right now, we've seen an uptick the last 4 or 5 years behind the arc.
Right, but at this level, the high school level, because they're so physically gifted to get to the rim and to the paint, they don't look at Zion Williamson. He can shoot the ball. He never needed to shoot the ball in high school. He always could get into the red, into the paint, and score on you, get fouled, or just get to the rim and punch it on you.
What I like about this kid at the line, you know, Isaiah Stewart, I know how much you love him, is he plays with a smile. He's always, I've never seen him not play with joy. In that regard, he reminds me of Zion.
Yeah. I talked to Isaiah about that. He said he had, a lot of that comes from the fact that he had a hamstring injury, hamstring surgery, and missed some games, and he's not taking this for granted. So he just has full of joy, but he also couched it by saying, I'm a dog on
he
the
is.
floor.
He is.
You can tell that.
Yeah, he is.
And when you talk to the players here at McDonald's to a man, the one guy who impresses all of them, Isaiah Stewart. And when your peers talk highly about you, then you know you're good.
Isaiah Stewart headed to Washington.
Mike Hopkins got a centerpiece for next year.
Oh, Howen.
He's been money all week.
From China.
He might be the best shooter that we've seen this week, at least in the practices.
China's first national team player born after 2000. Here's Curbelo.
Nice.
I thought he was going to pass it because he can really pass it.
But nobody stopped him. He did the right thing. He's such a smart, crafty point guard.
Old school kind of player.
And steps out of bounds, and that will be Team World ball. They've got a 4-point lead, $1:42 to go here in the first half. They're on an 8-0 run. We're at the Nike Hoop Summit, where some of the greats of today have played. Four-point lead for the World Select team at Nike Hoop Summit, where fans of all ages are feasting on some great talent here today. I'll have what he's having. We've had some players pass through here. We showed you as we went to break some of the great players. Kevin Durant, Jason Tatum. How about Dirk Nowitzki back in 1998? He was essentially an unknown player. Then he comes in here in 98 and pours in 33 points, becomes a top 10 pick.
Absolutely, and 21 years later, he's one of the great players of all time. Just retired in Dallas the other night, and what a career. And that was a good year. I remember Eric Barkley from St. John's was in that game. They played it up in Dallas, I believe.
Yeah, San Antonio.
San Antonio, that's where the Final Four was, yeah.
Dirk, tallest player ever in the NBA to make 1,500 threes. How about that nugget? I read that on him. I was impressed.
I'm impressed with everything he did, right?
Right, but I mean, to make 1,500 threes and be the tallest player ever. I mean, he had versatility before we started playing the small ball game.
So he's a top 10 pick.
14-time NBA All-Star.
Future Hall of Famer. Who's the #1 pick that year?
98. Tell me.
Michael Olowokandi.
Oh my goodness. From the University of Pacific.
That's why the scouts are out tonight. They don't want to make mistakes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I mean, this game brings out executives, assistant GMs, and scouts. 165 NBA personnel were credentialed for this game.
Lewis slashing to the rim.
Yeah, he plays with such intensity. He's a state champion. His teammate, Brian Antoine's going to be a very good player at Villanova.
I know you like the big guy there going there, Eric Dixon.
Eric Dixon.
Wide body.
Villanova type of guy. Big right, not really rebuilding. Reloading.
He's got Justin Moore in this game coming out of DeMatha Catholic. Now there's a guy who's a winner. Plays for DeMatha Catholic. In the summer he plays for Team Takeover. He's tough.
And how
battle tested.
How good a winner?
Big time winner.
Well, all-time winning is DeMatha player.
I was going to guess James Robinson.
He beat him by 1. I think it's 123 wins. Pretty good. We make a good team.
Put our heads
Abbott and Costello.
Put your heads together for the final minute of the second quarter. Straight ahead here at the Nike Hoop Summit.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the Nike ESPN's exclusive presentation of the Nike Hoop Summit is brought to you by Nike.
We got a great one here. World Select team with a 2-point lead, 53 seconds to go here in this first half. Nico Mannion, looking at him, future Arizona Wildcat, who right now for the World Select team has 12 points, game high 12 points.
And how about the World Select team? 7 of 13 behind the arc, knocking down from deep.
USA 3 of 11 beyond the stripe. Yeah, the country's top high school seniors taking on the best players from around the world, ages 19 and under.
USA team, Fran, just 3 for 11 from deep.
Yep.
Last season they weren't very good at all. And that's been the struggle with the Team USA over the years. They're outside shooting. The line is further back. It's the FIBA line, 22 feet.
Lewis muscling his way, trying to grab the rebound, get the tie up. And that ball will belong to the World Select team.
I think that's a big adjustment for our kids. The line is 19-9 in high school. Now you come and play in the Hoop Summit. It's pushed back to 22.
It's a little harder shot.
Tougher shot.
Yeah, 20 feet 9 in NCAA.
We saw that in the NIT this year. The experimental rule gave those college kids a lot of problems.
Where would you want to see it?
I like 29.
I like the international rule. I think kids will adjust to it eventually.
Chua having a nice first half.
He's adjusted. He's got some natural gifts for the game.
He's got 12. Turnover here, 20 seconds to go.
Good decision right there. Oh, but he'll shoot it. Nice pass.
Chua with the dish and the foul. Matthew Alexander Moncrief going up, and he'll go to the line.
Don't you love the way Chua is just non-stop motion up and down the floor, committed to the glass, and he loves the running game.
13 seconds to go here in this second quarter. We'll stay here for the timeout. World with a 6-point lead here. Well, what a night in the Octagon it's going to be coming up tomorrow. UFC 236 on pay-per-view, exclusively available for purchase on ESPN+. Holloway Poirier, Part 2. Rematch of that 2012 bout where Poirier won the first one by first-round submission. You got Gastelum and Adesanya for the interim middleweight title. Gastelum was supposed to fight back there in UFC 234. His opponent Robert Whittaker got hurt, so he's back in the ring again. The Octagon. New subscribers can get the main card and a full year of ESPN Plus for just $79.99. To order, go to ESPNplus.com.
That's going to be a great rematch, Matt.
You
know,
yeah.
7 years ago, they were, what, 23 and 20? And Holloway's been on a hot streak, 13 straight wins. Should be a good one.
That guy's on a hot streak.
That's
halftime.
That's one of the scouts for the Pelicans. No, just kidding.
That's halftime entertainment right there.
Just kidding. By the way, congrats to David Griffin, the new executive vice president. And while we got time, George Raveling is watching at home. He is the godfather of this game. Naismith Hall of Famer, one of the great men in our game. He's recovering from surgery. Coach, there's an open seat right by us. That's your seat. And everybody up here in Portland is thinking.
I'd always go to halftime to pick his brain. So, Coach Rav, you got to hit me on the cell.
7-point lead here, 3 seconds to go. Scotty Lewis going to have to get that one up. No good. And the World Select team with a 7-point lead here at the half. Nico Mannion with 12 points. Achua is also in double figures. Mannion also with those 5 assists. As the World Select team trying to make it back-to-back wins for Team USA here in the Nike Hoop Summit. Our halftime score, the World Team 50, USA 43. Halftime report going to begin right after these messages here from Portland.
Thank you.
Good, great.
There we go.
Thank you.
What's your main role here during an event like this and the week leading up here, and then preventing injuries and all those things?
Okay.
Nike Hoop Summit here in Portland. The World Select team with a 50-43 lead on Team USA. Got to be talented, but you got to stay on the floor, and that's where our next guest comes in. Dr. Diane Dom, who's the head physician here at the USA Basketball Junior National Team, also professor of orthopedic surgery at the Mayo Clinic. What's your role here, not just in the game, but in the week-long event here in Portland?
So it's great to be here, first of all.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
And it's really nice to work with all these great kids. You know, they're fantastic athletes, and it's really a privilege to be here. I'm with the Mayo Clinic, and I'm providing medical coverage for the week and for the tournament. And it's just a pleasure to be here.
When you've got these players, they got these demanding schedules, practices, games, travel. What's the key to keeping these guys in game shape and ready to go?
So it's a team effort, that's for sure. We have great trainers. We have physical therapy. We have everything put together there to help these guys. Not
just when they're hurt, but also making sure they don't get hurt. What's the key to preventing injuries with elite level talent like this?
So it's really not that hard. Sleep is the #1 thing. So if you get enough sleep, you're going to really be able to prevent injury. And if you get less than 6 hours of sleep, you have a much higher risk of injury. So that's the first thing I tell these guys. It's pretty easy.
Just make sure you're rested, comfortable, and ready to play. Is there anything you look for during practices as well as you're monitoring guys? What
Absolutely. You want to look for several things. Basically, there's lots of ways to monitor these kids during practice. But what we want to do is off the court. We want to look at movement patterns. We want to look at biomechanical flaws. We want to look at things that we can prevent by having them work out and correct these things, so that when they do get on the court, they can decrease their risk of injury.
And we haven't needed you tonight, so that's a very good thing. It's been a great event so far. Head orthopedic surgeon with the Timberwolves, the Twins as well, and with USA Basketball, the junior national team, the Mayo Clinic. Thank you, Diane. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate that. Here at Nike Hoop Summit here in Portland, Oregon. Team World with the 7-point advantage in the Great Northwest. More halftime straight ahead. Team World with the 7-point advantage here at half. Some of the great high school players from around the country and around the world here at the Nike Hoop Summit. NBA playoffs begin tomorrow. We'll have a quadruple header for you on ESPN and ABC starting at 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific. Nets, Sixers, then Magic, Raptors, followed by Clippers, Warriors on ABC. Then we cap off the day with Spurs, Nuggets. All games also streaming live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. Team World with a 50-43 edge. More halftime, second half coming up. Welcome back to the Nike Hoop Summit here in Portland, Oregon. And right now, the World Select team with a 7-point halftime lead on Team USA, 50-43. Matt Schick along with Fran Fraschilla and Paul Biancardi. Again, some of the elite level talent, high school basketball seniors, kids 19 years and younger from around the world. Two of the guys we had our eye on coming in were the top 2 point guards in the ESPN 100. They have not disappointed.
No, Nico Mannion, 12 points, 5 assists. And remember, Paul, this guy could be in the class of 20. He reclassified to 19, and what a senior year he's had. 51 on senior night, but tonight it's all about scoring and delivering the rock as well. Take a look at this drive and dish right here to Kofi Cockburn, finishing off inside, and then the young man also has that range, knocking down the 3 ball. Good first half. He playing with that chip on his shoulder because he wanted to play for Team USA.
And Cole Anthony, as competitive as they come in the senior class. That's deep, NBA range.
coming right back at Nico. What a matchup between two of the nation's top point guards. Anthony always can get to his right with that blow-by dribble, and this one, another deep one. 4 for 8 from the field. He's been efficient. But Team USA, Fran, more turnovers than assists. They got to clean that up in the second half.
Cole Anthony with 10, Mannion with 12, Precious Achiuwa also in double figures with 10 points for Team World. You look at Cole Anthony there again, had that slow start, slipped and fell at midcourt. Mannion drove that one in for the dunk. He responded well, and his father, Greg Anthony, going to be certainly shared plenty of advice both on and off the court, not just in how to play the game, but how to handle the recruiting game as well.
Yeah, he's all on top of that, Greg Anthony. When he meets with Cole, they discuss that with Cole's mom, Nicole. They get together. They're close to a decision. Still not agreeing on where to go just yet.
He said he thought the decision was going to be a few weeks ago, maybe a week ago, maybe this week. We'll see when it happens there for Cole Anthony. And again, the parents of the other point guard, Nico Mannion.
Absolutely. You see Pace Mannion, former Utah Ute, played in the NBA for about 7 years, then 13 more in Italy. You see his wife Gaia on the right. She was a professional volleyball player. Also, I heard a pretty good cook. But she is the reason this young man has his hops, not dad.
No question.
You trying to get a free meal there, Frank?
Oh, yeah.
A guy is putting on cooking classes right now in Phoenix for anybody who wants them. Yes.
She downplayed that.
She is the talent in that family. Pace was a very good defensive player.
You and I, Paul, know good Italian cooking.
Well, you know what her maiden name is.
Bianchi.
There you go.
So you guys will audition any meals that she cooks. Cole Anthony gets rejected there amongst the trees. Here's Achiuwa. 7-point lead here for the world team.
Achiuwa was very impressive in the first half. That jump shot has made tremendous strides over his career. He started out just as an athlete to run up and down, but he put a jump shot into his game.
Representing Nigeria, and they will count the basket. Tyrese Maxey, who's headed to Kentucky, number 3 shooting guard in the ESPN 100.
I think Maxey can play the point or the scoring guard. He's got that change of pace. He's got the 3-point shot. We talked about Isaiah Stewart playing with a smile on his face. Tyrese Maxey plays with the same joy, always smiling, a two-way player. I think he is going to be just a catalyst for John Calipari next year. Both defensively, we haven't seen his defense tonight as much, but he can really guard and he can score.
Well, I like this matchup here. Speaking of guarding, how about Scotty Lewis is going to take Nico Mannion? Let's see what happens here.
Switching that up defensively.
See, that length bothered Nico a little bit.
How about the length of James Wiseman?
You hit it, Fran. Scotty Lewis cut off Nico Mannion to the rim, had nowhere to go. That length was a problem for Nico.
The length is going to be a problem for everybody who plays Memphis next year.
Penny Hardaway is going to have a lot of fun with James Wiseman, putting him in the back of that press that they love to run in Memphis, protecting the rim. They'll start the fast break, and this guy can score in the half court with a jump hook. He's got a little bit of a face-up game that's developing.
One thing, if I was Sean Miller, and he's going to do this, Josh Green doesn't seem to be confident in that jumper, because there's been a couple times tonight they kicked it out to him, and he's got to just react and shoot the ball. And that's one of the flaws I see. He doesn't have a lot, but I would want him to be a catch and shoot, and then get those guys to close out, Paul, and then drive it like he can. He seems to be settling for the drive too much.
And he's so comfortable with that drive and finish.
But that's going to change in college.
Yeah, right. Scouting report defense is going to back up on him, not allow him to drive. These kids have no idea what college is going to be like. You know, they're not going to be the best player on their team or in the game anymore, and they're going to have to learn how to play with other guys.
Achiuwa tried to throw that one up there for Marcos Silva.
He needs to throw that to James Wiseman, not Gigi.
Achiuwa said, I could have gotten that. What happened there?
Cole's a terrific passer, but no assist right now. Nico has 5, and that's the difference.
Scotty Lewis.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
There's your assist.
Yep.
Evading Kofi Cockburn at the rim.
Perfect vision by Cole Anthony.
And you know what I liked about that? He was going up against Gigi Lozada. Look at that size. Watch this finish right here. See that contact?
I love the pass, Fran. He just whiffed that right over the defender's ear, and he just straight line bullet for Scotty to hit it right in motion. What a pass by Cole Anthony.
When we had this young guy at the Under Armour All-American camp, I think his sophomore year, I used to love to challenge him, Paul, and say, you know, you're probably going to shut it down this game, right? You're probably not going to go hard, and you can get under his skin because he is such a competitor.
Is that reverse psychology?
Absolutely.
Work?
Yeah, we've practiced that before.
So you're saying you're trying to push his buttons?
Absolutely.
You didn't do that when you were coaching, did you?
All the time. I pushed so many buttons I got
I'm gonna have
arthritis.
I'm going to have to call Meg and verify all this.
Lane violation there. Here's.
Oh, there's another one. That's a lane violation.
I think Scotty Lewis is.
What happened?
The spin as he throws the ball in the air. It's kind of getting his teammates and opponents to do the double take. Here's Scotty Lewis again on Mannion.
Yeah.
Look how low he's getting.
He's locked in, isn't he? Look at that. He's locked in.
He's got fast feet. He's got a wide base, Scotty Lewis. Tyrese Maxey D'ing up.
Rebound here for Anthony.
This might change the game for USA if Scotty controls Mannion.
I'll tell you what, if you go in the conversion game, nobody better than Cole Anthony. He can get a bucket or he can make the assist at a moment's notice. That's where he loves going up and down, Cole Anthony.
Nation's top uncommitted prospect. James Wiseman is committed to sending that ball into the seats time and time again.
I said it yesterday, if he's not the #1 pick in 2020, it'll be a little bit of an upset.
So you're comfortable with him being the #1 player in this class? I just want to verify.
No, I think you got that ranking right. I think you are right on the money. You know, it's funny. I'm glad you mentioned this because what I love about the rankings, and Paul knows I tweak them sometimes, is that I want the kids from 50 to 75 or 75 to 100 or below 100. I want them to know that their career's not over yet.
Absolutely.
You know, you look at teams that have guys that weren't highly ranked, Texas Tech, some of those Villanova guys that Jay Wright had, and
Virginia guys.
They
were ranked, but they weren't
top 100 guys.
Yeah, I want those guys to get hungry.
And Fran, to your point, a lot of kids think if they don't make the McDonald's game or the Hoop Summit or any other All-Star game, they're not worthy. There's 1,000 Division I recruits every year that go from high school to college. Just because you're not in a top 100 list doesn't mean you're not going to be good or successful.
Yeah. How about Jared Culver from Lubbock, Texas, who's going to be a #1 pick? You know, it's hard to go see him if you're guys like yourself.
A 3-star recruit out of high school, but there's a reason he went to Texas Tech.
Look at it. How about a guy who plays on this floor? Damian Lillard
from Oakland, California.
Well, he went to the right level to develop.
That's right.
And when you go to the right level, how about that, James Wiseman, showing you some touch.
So here's a debate for you.
Big fella with touch.
Here's a good debate. I want to have this with you.
Can you wait till the break?
Yeah. No.
Wait till we're off the air. Is that what you're saying?
I love R.J. Barrett. He's going to be a 20-point-a-game scorer. He's a professional scorer. The reason I took this guy third is just because of the fact that it's hard to find a guy this agile and athletic.
Again, we did a mock draft earlier. If high school players in this class were draft eligible, you guys each had Zion, then Morant,
John Morant,
and then Fran took James Wiseman.
And I love R.J. R.J. plays with as much intensity as anybody that I've seen this year in college basketball.
But this kid's a game changer, not only at the collegiate level, but when he goes to the pros, you're talking about a 7'6" wingspan to be that ultimate rim protector. So just like a lot of people that do mock drafts, they change from week to week. So I'm allowed to change after the game tonight.
No, because you know what, RJ could end up being a rookie of the year.
No.
You know what I mean. But that,
I think RJ's special at the wing spot.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a guy like him in a while.
Look at the ESPN 100, James Wiseman there.
You got that right. I think you got that right.
Cole Anthony #2, Vernon Carey #3. The top 4 players are here.
Yeah.
At the Nike Hoop Summit.
Anthony Edwards will play for Tom Crean this coming year out of Atlanta.
Dante and Wiseman.
A lot of rumors going on about Folly Dante. He's in the class of 220 right now, may reclassify up in August, become a senior, get his way into college basketball. A lot of guys do that because to get into college quicker, then you get a faster route to the NBA draft.
He's number 15 in the ESPN Junior 60, #1 center in the junior class. You
know, you have Gonzaga in the top 10. They've got 6 recruits. They've got a kid coming in, Balu, a giant from Mali, who Tommy Lloyd snuck out of that country. And boy, is he going to be a good one.
Mark Few, the recipe is to recruit international, get some locals. They got Anton Watson.
Yes.
We saw yesterday in the scrimmage, was fantastic. Got a big guy from Texas, Drew Timme.
Drew Timme, I love Drew Timme.
Big fella, out of your old country there in
Dallas
Texas.
kid. I live about 10 minutes from where Drew Timme went to high school at J.J. Pierce. Love that kid. He's a tough, hard-nosed guy.
Anthony battling there with Achua. A couple of top uncommitted prospects there.
I watched Cole Anthony all summer, and the thing that impressed me the most was in Vegas. I watched him play 2 games. I went to another event to catch out some nighttime action. Cole Anthony was playing in that event at 9 o'clock at night, his 3rd game of the day. That's love of the game. When you play 3 in the summer, friend, this kid loves to compete. He loves the game.
His dad was a pretty good player in Las Vegas.
Arcadian, yeah.
One thing,
high school.
Yeah.
See him?
There's you see Greg.
Anthony.
He started his career at University of Portland and transferred back to UNLV, where he had a great run on those great teams in the early 90s.
Anthony born here in Portland. There's Curbelo with the deep 3. Anthony hustles for the rebound. 2-point deficit here for Team USA.
See how quickly he gives it up. That's what I love about Cole Anthony when it comes to passing. People say he dribbles it too much. That was a quick throw ahead.
Point guards here on the floor with Mannion and Curbelo. Baseline drive off the glass, drawing the foul is Matthew Alexander Moncrief from Canada, class of 2020. Could reclassify to 2019. Remains to be seen. First round of the NBA playoffs continues Sunday. Thunder Trailblazers right here on this floor at Moda Center. Game 1 on ABC, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Coverage starts a half hour earlier with NBA Countdown, presented by Straight Talk Wireless. Both are also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere.
And even Russell Westbrook, as I recall, was not as highly thought of a player as he's turned out to be, even though he went to UCLA. Would that be correct, Mr.?
I was coaching at the time, so I get a reprieve.
You didn't
I wasn't doing the
He would have had him
rankings.
top 10. He would have had him 10.
I would have had him in the top 5, Frank.
I have no doubt. No, but it is true.
No, you're right.
True, right?
He was, you know, I don't want to say he was under-recruited, but he didn't play at that high major level at that time. Same thing with Culver. Culver was a 3-star player, and if he was anything higher than that, maybe he would not have went to Texas Tech out of high school. Maybe more program would have won.
You talk about that a lot, though. It's not. You can go to a bigger program and not develop the way that you need to develop. We talk about guys like John Morant.
Yeah.
Goes to Murray State and is able to develop at a level that allows him to become a top 5 pick.
It's funny, you know, their assistant coach at that time, James Kane, who's now at Iowa State, he was at a tournament in South Carolina. He was looking for the concession stand, and he went into a back gym. He was watching guys play 3-on-3. He saw this kid, and he said, "I got to watch this guy some more." And it turned out to be John Morant, who I think would be the number 2 pick. I think you had him there as well.
But it's all about fit, not about level when it comes to recruiting. You can't get caught up into levels.
Right, he picked a place that had point guard history with Cam Payne and Isaiah Cannon.
An opportunity.
Yes.
Anthony drawing major contact there from Dante. 4-point lead for World Select. James Wiseman, the #1 player in the 100 for a reason, Paul Biancardi.
He just protects the rim like nobody else. He's got a handful of blocks. He's got a couple of buckets.
He's the #1 player in the ESPN 100 on the floor tonight. Here's some high school footage here with his team. Paul, what makes him so special?
Well, how about this finish right here? Straight line drive with a punch at the end. Watch him run the floor. He falls down. He gets up. He tries to finish the break. They throw it upstairs. That's effort running the floor. Little vision from the 7-1 center. He sees his teammate, Malcolm Dandridge, open, finds him. But this is what he's noted for and what he's best at. He's omnipresent on the defensive end, rejecting shots on the weak side. And you see him tonight just waiting on it, slapping it out of bounds, sending a message. He's got to get better at keeping that ball in play to start the fast break.
So when you've watched him over time, the one knock I heard on him was doesn't always play maximum level. What did you see this week from him when you watch practices?
I thought he was great this week. I watched him during the high school season. I saw him about 6-7 times. I thought he was terrific every time with double-doubles and a handful of blocks. I think the effort just continues to get better. I think a lot of people are nitpicking on him at times when it comes to effort. Now, last year as a junior, he didn't understand what work was. I think as a senior, he felt the urgency and responded with great effort this season.
Because that's
Gatorade National Player of the Year.
Well, that's what honestly, I don't care about that, because I'm looking at him for the first time in a year, and I love the fact that I saw a guy that played hard at that size.
8 points, 4 rebounds, 5 blocks here tonight. Good story, little Q&A with Mark Spears on the Undefeated. Just about everything.
That was great.
Everything he's into, wants to take business classes, has dreams of opening up franchises like a Chick-fil-A or whatever it might be.
He's going to make a fortune if he buys a couple Chick-fil-A's.
Just from you.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice defense there from Cole Anthony. 2-on-2 on the break. Fadeaway Jay, yes.
That's a big-time shot right there.
He's got range.
Step back.
It's been consistency. Tonight he's been terrific from deep.
15 for Cole Anthony.
And he likes to defend. He'll get into the ball. Not as great laterally as he is vertically.
Moncrief rejected by Stewart.
Stewart's got a wingspan. 7'5".
He used it right here. Mike Hopkins is going to love this kid. Quade Green, transfer from Kentucky, will be ready to go.
Okoro got his hands on that as well.
Yeah. I think this kid's going to fit just right in Seattle.
They got Raekwon Battle coming in front. He's one of the best shooters in the senior class. So you got shooter, you got post, you got Quade Green transferring in.
Yeah.
Mike Hopkins going to have them near the top in the Pac-12.
One of the reasons I mentioned the rankings, and honestly, I know how hard Paul works at it, is I remember one year working at a Nike Paul Pierce camp, and I didn't know the kids as well coming into the camp, and I said, I'm not going to look at the list today. And I watched the camp first morning sessions, and I said, okay, that's the best player, that's the second best player. The kid I picked out, now anybody could do this, but it was Kawhi Leonard, who was not highly thought of in Southern California. The other guy that I was impressed with, not highly ranked at the time, Avery Bradley. So sometimes I like to go into a gym and say, I'm going to watch, then I'll make my mind up, without looking at a ranking.
We had Bradley. That was my first year doing it. We had him at #1.
Really?
He was that good of a high school player. Now he didn't turn into he turned into a very good pro.
No, he's a good pro. He really is.
He didn't turn into a franchise pro.
No,
but he turned into a good pro. You know what he was? A winner who was productive.
Yeah, great defender.
Great defender.
Outside of a Wiseman.
I loved him.
Outside of a Wiseman, anybody here would love to have an Avery Bradley NBA career.
Yes.
And we're going to have a foul going the other way. I think that's on Stewart.
A lot of guys in today's generation want to get drafted. I don't know how many want to have a career in the NBA like Avery Bradley.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are hoping to be drafted someday, and sometimes after that draft, they relax. It's like the post-commitment.
You can be a role player and make tens of millions.
And most of them will be role players.
Yeah, sure.
There's only 25 stars. Right. All these other guys, for the most part, if they make it, they're going to make it as a role player doing what they do best.
And there's some guys out here, friend, that could start in the NBA. Like Cole Anthony would be a starter someday. I think James Wiseman could be a starter someday. Isaiah Stewart. But to go from a starter to an all-star is a big jump in the NBA.
What we're watching right now, I told you this yesterday, right? This is rookie league baseball. Next year they're going to play AA in college as the equivalent of baseball and basketball. AAA is the Euro League to me, and then the NBA is the major league. So still a lot of steps to go.
5 on the shot clock. Okoro, here's Matthew Hurt finding the baseline.
Keith Van Horn.
There you go.
Oh. And to that as well.
That was, I took the charge. I was in legal guarding position.
My goodness. Well, yeah, blocker charge. Okoro flying. So Okoro flies into our bench, and then he flies to the rim. That's effort.
Cole Anthony with the dime.
We'll charge him for the equipment breaking, but we applaud the effort.
What about the leg that's broken?
As long as the analysts and play-by-play guy are not broken.
Fran, there's your guy, Moncrief. You liked him this week.
I do. I like this potential.
Great frame and stroke. Failing it. Just knows how to get points, unafraid, and he's a gamer.
He's impressed me today.
He's impressed me all season.
Yeah.
At senior year, he's been terrific.
Bello crafty off the back.
Youngest guy here. Getting some Big East recruitment right now, picking it up. Young man who played well for Puerto Rico last summer in the U18s. The U17s.
Yeah, people at Long Island Lutheran love him. Jay David told me today, his coach for the Jayhawks. Shakes hands with everybody, talks to everybody. Could be the president of the high school.
Talking about Corbello, #1 here in black for Team World, class of 2020. The comparison that we heard this week, Carlos Arroyo. You like that?
I do. I like that. Solid, steady, smart.
There's a J.J. Barea comparison
he
that'll
doesn't
be
score
made.
like Barea. Barea.
Well, Barea's 5'8".
I coached against Barea. He shot it almost every time, could get 30, and he might have been 30 when he was shooting it in college too.
Still going, man.
He was tough to play against.
He's got a world championship ring.
Played at Northeastern for Ronnie Everhart.
He did. Puerto Rico has always had those crafty guards through the years. Going way back, you want to hear old school? Butch Lee. Almost knocked off the USA Olympic team back in '76. Man, I'm old. That's a long time ago.
No, you're smart.
You can be smart and old.
And experienced. There you go.
Knowledgeable.
Anthony rising. A little short. Usada Silva throwing it up.
Shibwe. I like saying that.
Oscar Shibwe throwing that one down, the future West Virginia Mountaineer.
You put him with Derek Culver next year, who is a monster. I don't think anybody might. They might have a shutout and rebounds one night.
Shibwe reminds me a little bit of Devin Williams, who played for Bob Huggins, as a rebounder, just tenacious on the glass.
Here's a look at that alley-oop again.
And coming at you. Watch Gigi right here with the dime drop. Big fella going up and throwing it down. I was talking to him earlier. He's got a little brother in 8th grade who's about 6'6". He's going to high school in West Virginia. But this kid will fit right in with Bob Huggins.
We talked to him yesterday about Bob Huggins. Yeah. And I said to him point blank, do you know what you're getting into playing for Bob Huggins? He goes, yes, I want to be pushed and I want to be coached. And I said, then you're going to the right guy.
Yes. Yeah, you know where you're going.
You know where you're going, you know what you're getting. Right. He says, I love Bob Huggins.
Who doesn't?
Well, check with me on February 1st. No, he's
deep in Big 12 play.
He is going to fit in. He is going to fit in. Oh, yeah.
Hold on, friend. Hugs is texting me right now.
I'm sure he is. Derek Culver did something this year. Now, you saw him at Brewster. Derek Culver was a freshman this year. He shot 24 free throws against Texas Tech at 6'10", 260. You put him with Shibwe. We don't know what's going to happen with Sags Kanate. I think he's going to probably leave, but if he were to come back, that front line would be unbelievable.
Nico Mannion can really manage a game, score the
18,
ball.
18 for Mannion.
He is such an extension for whoever he plays for. Sean Miller's going to love him. As the leader of the team, as a freshman, he'll be one of the leaders. They got Brandon Randolph, Brandon Williams coming in as well. Already there, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wendell Moore with a nice move to the hoop.
Wendell Moore is my Swiss Army knife. Whatever you want, he can deliver it. Makes the jump shot, the drive, an excellent, versatile defender. He's just going to help Duke win. That's what he's going to do.
Green with the floater. And a rebound here for Moore.
Yeah, Moore, two-time state champ. Cox Mill High School in North Carolina.
You know what I like about him? He grew up a Duke fan, so talk about getting an opportunity to play for your hometown hero, so to speak. You know, I know he's not from Durham, but he grew up wanting to play for Coach K, and he's going to get that opportunity.
From Charlotte, North Carolina, Cox Mill High School.
He's got a great high school coach, Jody Barbee. Been to his practices. Just Wendell Moore, IQ, athleticism, defense, just whatever the team needs, he brings it.
Let's see how Nico manages this last 18 seconds here.
That's why a shot clock needs to be in the high school game, but that's another topic for the fourth quarter.
Well, it's under 24.
Clock at 5. Mannion, foul on Lewis.
Well, Scotty's done a pretty good job on Nico tonight. Take a look right here. I think he fouled him. Oh yeah, that's an easy one. Reaches in, grabbed the arm.
Then you exaggerated on the offensive end.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
Yeah.
18 points, 5 assists for Nico Mannion. And no game would be complete without going to a monitor frame. Looking at the foot. And it will be 3 free throws.
Yeah, they told us. The officials told us, Matt, before the game that they may have to come over to use our monitor. Unfortunately, Isaac Okoro eliminated.
Yours is black right now.
Because we don't have a monitor.
And mine is tilted.
Yeah, it's just no signal on it on the monitor. We got a couple hundred pounds running into us.
Yeah, I think Gus Malzahn might be keeping an eye on Isaac Okoro and not just Bruce Pearl.
Bruce is losing some players. Bruce Brown, Jared Harper.
Yeah,
might have
losing some guys.
Might have an Okoro and an Okiki.
Yep.
Next year. 1 on the game clock. Maxi's got to get it up. He cannot. And that'll do it. World from the free throw line, just 12 of 25, but they do hold a 3-point lead. Nico Mannion with 20 points, 5 assists. Cole Anthony, 18 points, 6 rebounds. Got a great fourth quarter coming up. Nike Hoop Summit from Portland.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the Nike Hoop Summit is brought to you by Nike.
the country's top high school seniors facing the World Select team comprised of top players from around the globe who are 19 years of age and under. And right now that latter team has a 72-69 lead as we enter the fourth quarter here at Moda Center, home of the Portland Trail Blazers and home to some elite level talent, future NBA draft picks, future college stars, right here taking center stage. Matt Schick, Fran Fraschilla, Paul Biancardi, Scotty Lewis, future Florida Gator, can't get that one to fall. Tries to make up for it on the defensive end.
This is the first time he is playing in international competition for Team USA. He's been in a number of training camps, and talking to him yesterday, he was really excited about trying to make a contribution, and he has done that tonight.
Part of the class there with the Gators, Trey Mann, Omar Payne, both in state. Mike White. Sada Silva can't get the roll. Rebound here for Maxey. Tyrese Maxey headed to Kentucky. Left-handed dribble, floater, yes, off the glass.
And that's a shot that all the guards need from when they go from high school to college. Maxey already has that. The ability to get into the lane jump stop or off of 1 foot, and it's soft. That's why a lot of guys get their shot blocked. They don't know how to use the floater.
Nice pass from Green to Mannion. Future connection there at Arizona for head coach Sean Miller.
And Nico has played with that chip on his shoulder tonight, and he's played it well. He's had a really good night.
22 points for Nico Mannion, the #2 point guard in the ESPN 100. 3-point lead for the World Select team, and a steal.
A good defense by Nico.
Sada Silva tried to tap that one to Achua. Maxey ahead to Wendell Moore, off the glass.
Great pass by Maxey. See, he can play some point guard when it comes to conversion or getting you in the offense.
I love the fact that we have a great game, especially after last year when R.J. Barrett dominated Team USA.
Yeah, Charles Bassey was really good for the world team as well. He had a double-double.
Yep.
U.S. didn't have the competitive nature that they have tonight.
Dante a little deep.
Dante has to shoot it in the paint, not outside the paint right now. Look at this guy.
Lewis.
Look at this guy.
Slashing and making.
We talk about that non-stop motor, that effort. He's been assertive his senior year. He's been aggressive. He knows right where he wants to go. Little dribble move to the middle. Great body control by Scotty Lewis.
Oh yeah, Superman is in the house. That's a kid when you look at him. Now he's going to have a good career for Mike White, but you could already see, I don't know if he's going to be a great NBA player, but what teams like about him is you know he's going to defend the wing, which you have to have, and he plays with a high motor.
A lot of the NBA guys have not seen these kids until McDonald's and this week, so the names they know: Isaiah Stewart, Scotty Lewis. They certainly know James Wiseman and Cole Anthony, but you're right, Fran. Isaiah Stewart and Scotty Lewis have caught the attention of NBA scouts this week at the Hoop Summit.
Mannion up top. Sada Silva couldn't throw that one down, and Cochran tried to follow to stay world ball. Nico Mannion, future Arizona Wildcat, ahead there with Josh Green. The #1 class in the ESPN rankings. 1-point lead for Team USA.
He's going to play for a guy who was a pretty good college point guard himself.
Feisty.
Yeah.
Sean Miller.
Mannion's having a day and gave Scotty Lewis a look.
Scotty's trying to do too much offensively. That's a turnover.
Yeah, the strength of his game on the drive is to go in straight lines. He doesn't have a lot of wiggle. So when he tries too much, he gets caught into traffic off the bounce.
Watch this now. He's starting to light up. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. That time Lewis closes late. Nico is on fire.
Look at that.
And let's go back to that story. Paul, you remember it well. Under 16s, he was cut from the team because his mom is Italian. He got a chance to play for the Italian under 16 team. Led Europe in scoring that summer. Last year, one of the youngest players to play on the national team of Italy. He'll probably continue to play for them.
He's just so complete, or close to complete, as a point guard.
Nico Mannion looked like he might have gotten fouled there, no call. Sitting there with 23 points on 7 of 9 shooting with a few threes.
When you look at his offensive game, he makes the deep shot. He has the middle game, Fran. He finds people. And right now his parents,
they're looking at the highlight.
Gaia trying to find him on the scoreboard.
No, look at it. She said that's a foul. She's an athlete.
But when you look at Nico's game, Fran, from an offensive standpoint, not many holes.
25 points for Nico Mannion. Not thrilled at what just happened. You got to be pleased with his game. 2-point lead for the World Select team. Nike Hoop Summit World Select team with a 77-75 lead here. 6:48 to go in the fourth quarter in Portland, Oregon. Nico Mannion's got 25 points, and we got some baby photos here, Paul.
Feisty little fella.
Born in Italy, spent the first couple years of his life there. Of course, parents
collecting hardware right there.
My goodness.
Superman jersey on.
Yeah. Dad played in the NBA, then played in Italy a long time. That's where he met Gaia. And there you see them. Pace was a broadcaster for the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City. Then the family moved to Phoenix, and the rest is history, Paul.
And Fran, you mentioned this earlier, but Gaia was a professional volleyball player. She told me yesterday at shoot-around she was getting paid as a volleyball player at the age of 15.
Good thing she didn't go to college and play in the NCAA.
Good thing there's no NCAA over in Italy.
Imagine that, making money as a youngster.
She'd be on probation right now.
Oh, we laugh because it's sad.
Different system over there, guys, as you know.
A system that uses a shot clock, too, for their club teams at the high school age.
It's a good transition there, Paul, to get us out of that conversation.
And we agree on that, Paul. We agree on most things, but that's the thing we do agree on.
Achua over Wiseman. Look at Achua having a night.
This is the guy, we talked about this at practice yesterday. We were watching. He has built a nice first line of that NBA resume. He's got that size for the league, athleticism, putting the ball in the basket. Still a couple of years away from that.
And Fran, at 6'9", he's got a 7'2" wingspan to help that defense out.
Oh, nice pass.
Bello with a nice pass.
No look. I think the whole place here in the Moda Center thought he was going to Nico, and he looked him off. Found big guy.
Shibwe heading to West Virginia. Wiseman gets the foul.
This is what I talk about old school. Take a while. Watch him look one way, throws it back, and Oscar is the recipient.
Franny drew the defense.
Sweet.
Defense has no idea where the ball is and where it's going.
Not a no-look pass, a two-look pass.
Oh, nice move inside.
Hey there, Jeremiah Robinson Earl headed to Villanova. Top 20 in the ESPN 100.
However you want it done, Jeremiah Robinson Earl will do it. Points, rebounds, he'll defend, get on the floor. His game is so productive.
Bello too deep there.
And I talked to his father, Lester Earl, who was here this week. He said, look, the only thing I could do better than my son was jump. He said, my son's got all the skills that I didn't have. What a class Jay Wright's put together.
Yes.
Robinson Earl, Brian Antoine, Eric Dixon, Justin Moore.
Well, the guy I love is Eric Dixon. And not because he's better than these guys, he's not, but he's going to be a 3-4 year guy. Reminds me of Javon Pinkston, local kid from the Philly area.
Yeah, big body.
Yeah, big body.
Cole Anthony got to score.
Yeah, excuse me, Matt. You got to do something off a ball screen with Cole Anthony. If you're not there, he's going to pull it up because he reads that hedge guy, sees the help, and he'll just burn you.
Achua high off the glass over the outstretched arms of Wiseman. So you got Cole Anthony, who's got 20. Nico Mannion with 25.
Watch Cole Anthony come off this ball screen right there, that horns action, Fran. You made a video on that, I think.
I did. That's why I'm going to use him next time I do another one.
I was trying to promote your tape on that play, but Anthony comes off the screen, nobody there, goes right up. He's not trying to get to the rim every time. He recognizes the open space. When the defense backs up, he pulls up.
You know one thing, Matt, we're going to have a fun 5 minutes here. This is going to be a highly competitive last part of this game.
3 years ago, the United States won this game by 34 points, largest margin of victory. Last year, the world team won it by double digits.
And coming into the game, I think as a group, we thought that the USA had the big advantage in this game. We thought maybe a 8-10 point win.
Certainly size-wise, but
well, the size for the world is terrific.
Yeah.
Nico Mannion.
Tyrese Maxey, the Kentucky signee.
Been watching this guy in Dallas for a couple of years now.
He's got the shake and bake, Fran.
Yep.
Little refusal.
You know how good Dallas high school basketball has gotten in the last few years. Guys like Marcus Smart coming out of there. Tyrese Maxey, lots of McDonald's All-Americans.
Julius Randle, the Harrison twins.
Yep. Harrisons are from Houston, but Texas as a whole. You know, and I've said this about Texas, Paul. A lot of kids who are playing high school basketball in Texas are from families who moved back to the South. But Sun Belt area, especially Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, lots of talent. Houston, right? Loaded.
Every season.
De'Aaron Fox.
Justice Winslow.
Foul there on Cole Anthony. That'll be his third 1 point lead for the World Select team.
I just want to be able to say this. This kid, Joshua Obiasa.
Yes, it's spelled Joshua, but he's from Germany. Joshua.
Joshua Obiasa. He'll turn pro. In fact, he is a pro already.
Cockburn gets his own miss and draws the foul.
Now this is a big guy. 6'9", 300. He's gotten in better shape, and when he gets in the ultimate physical condition that he needs to be in to play basketball, Brad Underwood is going to have a post player that is going to put pressure on the defense.
I want to show you guys something. On the world jerseys right now, in front of the jersey, there's a TL in red. See that? Terry Layton was Nike's international scout for many, many years. He lived in Colorado Springs. I got to know him. He passed away right after Christmas. And in honor of Terry Layton, the world team is wearing that little patch tonight. And a lot of people who are associated with Nike international basketball, they miss Terry.
It's a great touch.
Yeah, it's a great touch. The world team. He scouted these guys along with Richie Schubrooks, great Nike executive NBA scout who's watching at home tonight. They put together some great teams here.
Anthony, the floater, too strong. Here's Josh Green, has a 2-on-1 if he wants it. Tries to throw that one up. Maxey's going to get the foul.
And that's how Green goes. When he gets ahead of steam, he's trying to punch it on you, flush it. Or if you take away the dunk, he's going to use his body control. He has tremendous body control.
How good was he last week in the Geico Championship? I'm teasing that. Tell me when we come back.
That answer of how good was he in the Geico Championships straight after the Final 421. He's the #1 point guard in the class, the top uncommitted prospect in the ESPN 100. He's Cole Anthony. He's got 20 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists.
He plays with supreme confidence, especially in the offensive end. Looking for points, certainly can facilitate. The long-range jump shot has gotten so much better this season. Just a highly competitive kid who continues to try to be the leader of whatever team he's playing on.
Here you see Greg Anthony, 11 years in the NBA. He's a former New York Knick, among others, Portland Trail Blazers. And he's impressed me tonight. I haven't seen him since last October, I believe, and you watched him all year. He never disappoints when I watch him.
And I did a terrific job this year for Oak Hill Academy, transferred from Archbishop Malloy in New York.
So tell me about this guy, Josh Green. He had a great week at the Geico National, right?
They won the Geico National.
IMG?
IMG. He was the leader and the catalyst for his team, and they had a wealth of talent, but they beat some really talented teams with Montverde. And they also beat La Lumiere with Isaiah Stewart, Keon Brooks. They were undefeated going into the championship game at IMG. Sean McAloon, new head coach there, did a terrific job.
Look at that touch. I mean, you can't do anything against that.
And he's learning that shot. He's learning the jump hook inside. He's got a turnaround jump shot to one shoulder, a jump hook to the other. And he's a supreme shot blocker, and he'll run.
He's running now.
Tied at 84. Here's more. And Achua going the other way. They've got numbers if they want it. Achua might be an offensive foul, and it is.
Got to give that up. That's one thing I think he's got to get better at. Is he plays with tunnel vision.
And I love the charge by Cole Anthony. Watch this, lining him up, taking the hit. And that's 6'9", 230 chisel coming at Cole Anthony. He never flinched to take that charge. Impressive.
Tied up at 84. The final 3:39 coming up. It's UFC 236 tomorrow on pay-per-view, exclusively available for purchase on ESPN+. Holloway Poirier 2, Gastelum Adesanya for the interim middleweight title. New subscribers can get the main card and a full year of ESPN+ for just $79.99. To order, go to espnplus.com/PPV. Prelims on ESPN and ESPN Deportes starting at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific. A great game so far, competitive. You guys talk about it. Fran Fraschilla, Paul Biancardi, just the evaluation tool for NBA executives and scouts. If you are one of those guys, what are you thinking here as you watch this game?
Well, like I said earlier, this is the first line of that resume. There have been some impressive performances tonight. They don't want to miss the next step of going on to being really good college players as well.
In a lot of all-star games, you see the talent, but in the Nike Hoop Summit, you see competitiveness. You see coachability, guys being able to listen to their coach, work together with other teammates, and that's what the NBA Fran is really looking at. They know the basketball sooner or later. They want to know the intangibles of all these guys.
And this USA team is, these guys know each other well. There's 7 of them that played last summer on 2 different USA teams.
Don Showalter, Sean Ford, all the group at USA Basketball. They're not trying to build an all-star team. They're trying to build a team of winners.
Speaking of winners, let's see what Nico Mannion's got down the stretch of a tie game.
25 points in this one. The dish to Dante, but it's a turnover. Here's Cole Anthony to James Wiseman. The pirouette.
#1 next year. Think about if he was in this draft.
Think about how many more executives and scouts would be on hand.
Yeah, and you'd have to really take a look at him. Now listen, Zion's great, John Morant's great, but a kid like this doesn't come along very often. Watch this agility right here.
Fran, this is Sports Center Top 10. This is a 7-1 point guard with the scoop.
Yep, I mean, this is athleticism right here.
How about that?
You know what
Just
I like?
the nimble footwork and the body control, mobility, and coordination to catch it, spin, and finish.
#1 point guard to the #1 player on that transition bucket.
And we're going to move him in front of Cole Anthony as a point guard on that move.
Point center. If James Wiseman was in the draft and you're coming out of this game, well, are you taking him or Zion Williamson?
I'm probably still taking Zion, but I'm going to tell you something. Because Zion has had the knee issue, and we think it's not going to be a big deal. John Morant, guard, but guards translate to the NBA. You are at least going to take a hard look at taking this kid #1. Because a year from now, you know, we could be looking at, like Paul said, he said, what, Chris Bosh, I think David Robinson.
Little Sam Perkins, little David Robinson.
Yep.
I like Jermaine O'Neal defensively.
Actually rejected by Achua. 2:36 to go. World Select team with a 1-point lead.
But can I make this point as we watch this block? If Zion were in this last year's draft, he probably would have gone 5th or 6th. He would have got a small Nike deal. He went to Duke. By the night of the draft, he'll be worth over $100 million. So there's something to be said for going to college also.
Moore rejected there. Achua with back-to-back blocks, but Moore puts the back.
Fran, to your point, Trae Young would not have got drafted out of high school.
That's right.
And then goes to Oklahoma and put himself into a top 5 spot.
And you know, I don't know if Nico Mannion may not be Trae Young, but he's not far behind at the same stage.
He doesn't have that range.
He doesn't, but you know what? I don't know that he needs it.
He's got the great passing, and Trae Young, as we both know, is a terrific passer. Nico Mannion, I think he's the best passer in the senior class and can make jump shots, has good range. He's feisty. I think he's a feisty defender, and we talk about him offensively.
Nico Mannion with the basketball and 28 points. That's a game high. He's headed to Arizona next year. This summer.
Snake move.
Look at that. Wiseman rejecting that, but
you know,
there was a foul.
Listen, watch this snake move right here. He's going to come off a ball screen. The defender's going to show. Watch him cross over. Boom, right there.
And then watch this. Right there.
I think that was clean.
How about the chase down by James Wiseman? You want to know about his effort? Got beat on the play, hustled back in. That might be his 10th block of the game, or close to it.
You know what's great about Nico Mannion? If you go to any schoolyard in the country, he's not taken first. He's not taken first. You're looking at that red hair, you're going, eh. How many guys have you grown up with? You go, he doesn't look like a ball player, but obviously he's a killer.
Reading a Sports Illustrated article where one of his younger friends called him, has a nickname for him, the Jinja Ninja. And you have to say Jinja.
I can say that. Jinja.
Maxey, 3. 1-point game here, $1:40 to go.
Oh yeah. Ball's in Nico's hands. Big fella's got to catch those passes to the rim on the roll.
Number
one-on-one matchup.
Number 2 point guard versus the number 1 point guard. Gets a screen. 5 on the shot clock. Achua can't get the roll. Rebound Wiseman.
Wiseman will give it to you on the glass too, Fran. He gets double-figure rebounds in a full game.
He better. He's a monster.
Game changer. Memphis Tigers. NCAA tournament next year. Mark it down.
They are going to lose 5 seniors, but he's got a great group coming in.
1 on the shot clock. Moore with the 3. No.
Let it go out of bounds.
Oh,
Young guy
touched the basketball.
You got to know better. That ball was headed out of bounds. He wasn't sure he was going to grab it, and young fella let that go. Watch this right here. I was thinking to myself, just let it go out of bounds. Just got to have court geography up there in your noggin. He'll learn.
You haven't spent some time with Precious. He's a sweet kid, soft-spoken, off the court, great student. At Montverde.
Plays with high. He's a high energy guy, no doubt.
Name like that, you got to be sweet.
Precious is sweet.
Precious Achua, one of the top uncommitted prospects in the ESPN 100 out of Montverde Academy. Well, Nico Mannion has been the star. Number 2 point guard, headed to Arizona. He's got 28 points, Fran.
He has not disappointed. This is the guy we expected. We expected him to play well. Great competitor. He's got the whole package from that point guard spot, Paul.
And Fran, he reads the game so well with the ball in his hands. And when he's off the ball, we saw the backdoor cut for the layup. As complete as there is in the high school game as a point guard and a winner.
3 threes, 5 assists, 28 points, hitting 7 field goals.
But Roy Rana's now got to get his team with 14 on the clock to get a stop and get that ball back as they trail by 1.
World team has not made a field goal in the last 5 minutes. They led at halftime by 7. They trail by 1.
World team, Fran, with the ball right now. You have to think it's going to be in the hands of Cole Anthony. Some sort of ball screen. So if you're the world team, how are you going to defend that ball screen? They've been backing up or flatting it, flatline it. Maybe trap Cole Anthony off this ball screen and let somebody else beat you.
Could be. I think you definitely have to take the ball out of Cole's hands the way he's played tonight. Do they have the practice experience? They've been together since Monday. Do they have the practice experience to do that? We'll find out.
Head coach Scott Fitch with some last-minute instructions for Cole Anthony as Isaac Okoro will inbound. Less than a minute to go, 14 on the shot clock. 1 point lead for Team USA. Number 1 point guard, Cole Anthony, defended by the number 2 point guard in the class, Nico Mannion. Anthony to the glass.
He did exactly what Nico did on the other end. Big guy showed, he crossed over, got to the lane. He's going to get himself a couple free throws.
Cole has some excellent straight line speed, but off that ball screen, Fran, we saw the quick change of direction. And once he gets ahead of steam to the rim, he's tough, he's focused, and he's got body control and touch when he gets into the paint. North Carolina looking at him, Oregon, Notre Dame, Georgetown.
Where's he going?
One of those 4.
Good job.
I think I know, but Paul's.
Well, the heavy buzz is North Carolina.
Feels like a UNC lean, right?
Yeah, it could be a heavy lean.
I know this. He's the highest ranked point guard coming out of New York City since Stephon Marbury.
Wow.
Pretty good. It's a long time. 1995. Can't think of anybody else, Paul, between Steph and Cole Anthony.
1 of 2 from the floor, a 2-point lead for Team USA.
Think of the great point guards in New York City history, the Kenny Andersons, the Kenny Smiths, Pearl Washington, going back to the days of Lenny Wilkins and Charlie Scott.
Well, how about tonight with Cole Anthony with 21 points to lead the way for Team USA.
It's been a great matchup between he and Nico Mannion, the top 2 point guards in the class, for a reason. Anthony, terrific in transition, the stop go and the step back. He has all the moves you want behind the arc, and when his feet are set, he can knock it down with range and accuracy. Competitive kid, a winner. It's going to change some program next year, college basketball.
Donald's All-American, MVP of that game.
Well, let's be blunt. If he does go to North Carolina, and that's the lean, we don't know if he will, but he's perfect. Up tempo, Kobe White's leaving. Roy Williams, nobody pushes the pace
like North Carolina.
Year in and year out.
But Oregon, Fran, they play that pressing style.
They do.
When Dana Altman has the athletes in the backcourt, the front court, and they like to go. And who lets their guards play more than Mike Bray?
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. But I know if if the lean is Carolina.
Paul's just trying to make everybody happy.
I know, and I don't care. I don't care about that.
That may be the major difference between us, Fran.
That's your wheelhouse. I don't have to please those guys.
I'm not pleasing anyone.
No.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. 5 seconds to go here on the shot clock. Mannion wanted a foul, not going to get it. Rebound here for Stewart. 2-point lead here for Team USA.
Did Wiseman get a piece of that one too?
Don't have to foul.
Not with that 24-second shot clock,
It was Isaac Okoro. Watch this.
Wow, but he had Wiseman and Okoro with him.
I think so.
Two excellent defenders.
Yeah, I don't think they needed to foul right there. There was about a 12-second difference on the shot clock. It's going to be a two-possession game if he drills this one.
22 points for Cole Anthony. Part of that gold medal winning 2018 FIBA America's Under-18 championship team. Trying to get a win here in the Nike Hoop Summit. It's a two-possession game. Timeout here for the world team and head coach Roy Rana. Well, you want to get a bucket here. Got to be fairly quick.
Yep, you don't need a three unless it's a wide open one. My philosophy, I'm not sure. I think Paul would agree. To me, I always like to drive it, get the two, maybe a 2-and-1, maybe a drive and a kick out for an open three, but you don't have to force a three. And then you set your press up and foul and make them make some free throws.
I think you got to keep it real simple with this time and try to beat them off the dribble, drop it off to a big, maybe an alley-oop. Try to get something at the rim either from the driver or from the alley-oop pass, but you got to go rim, as you mentioned, Fran, maybe get a foul, and then you got to pick up full court, go for the steal, and then commit a foul. Time management.
Well, whatever the world team does, they're going to have to combat one of the best defenders in the ESPN 100 and the best player in this class, James Wiseman. He's been terrific on both ends.
Well, he does it first on the defensive end. That's what he thinks about. Comes from the weak side, but how about offensively with that soft, reaching touch? Runs the floor like no other big. A little nimble footwork on that spin to the basket. When Wiseman puts it in gear, him and Isaiah Stewart, best at running the floor in terms of the bigs.
Remember, FIBA rules, you can advance after a timeout. So Roy Rana took the timeout so he could save some seconds, and they're going to inbound it at the top of the key.
Do you want to see that in the college game?
I don't like that rule. There's a lot of FIBA rules I like. I don't like the advancement rule.
Mannion defended by Okoro, tries to draw contact, not getting that call from the official.
And what they're going to, I'm not sure that wasn't a good call.
Mannion seemed to leap into Okoro.
Okoro, as long as, is he going to call a foul? So they're going to give him the ball. Watch this now. If Okoro's vertical right here, watch Nico jump into him. I think that's a good no call to me.
I like the no call because Nico did not go straight up and down.
Yep.
5 on the shot clock. Achua. No rebound for Anthony, and now you have to foul. 4-point lead for Team USA, and Cole Anthony going to look to add to his 23-point night. Coach Scott Fitch looking on. Fairport High School, Fairport, New York.
You're aware of that high school. Did you go to Fairport High School?
Fairport High. His father was the head coach when I was there.
Jeff Fitch. How about Jeff and Scott Fitch? 51 straight years as the coaches at Fairport.
And I asked him before the game, what did your father do to make you want to coach? He said he didn't do anything, but when the players would come back, I would see the relationship between them and my dad, and it made me want to coach.
Yeah, he's a great coach. He's had a great career up there. He's a motivational speaker as well. Yes.
15 on the clock. Need some quick buckets. Usada Silva for 3. No. A rebound here for Moore. And Team USA trailed by 7 at the half. They win this one by 6. USA Junior National Team victorious. Your thoughts?
I absolutely love the competitiveness of both teams over 40 minutes. This was a maybe not the best played game, but Paul, the effort level both ways, absolutely sensational.
Sensational, and the number 1 and 2 players in the country stepped up. James Wiseman on the defensive end with the block shots, and Cole Anthony was fantastic with the ball in his hands.
Nico Mannion finishes with a game-high 28 points. Cole Anthony, 25 points. As the USA team gets the win 93-87. For Paul Biancardi, Fran Fraschilla, our entire ESPN crew, I'm Matt Schick. So long from Moda Center in Portland, Oregon. Send you to Woj and Low NBA Playoff Special.